Taurus, this is your week ahead astrology forecast by Astrology Motivation from Born Without Boundaries. In these weekly videos, I review the major planetary aspects and transits and how they impact your natal sun and what that means for your bottom line. To enjoy this video, the only information you need, the only thing you need to understand is your birthday. That's all you need to know. Everything else, I'm going to translate for you. I'm going to start off with the big stuff. The stuff that's happening right now, everything that's going on in the current chart for this week. This is the week of August 10th through the 16th, by the way, of 2023. And then I'm going to focus that down into Taurus-specific information. And then I'm going to break everything up into the 3 decans of Taurus so that I can understand how everything is interacting or aspecting your natal sun, and I'll know what kind of impact it is going to be having on you this week. So sit on back, let's get into the big stuff. Now, there's no major transits this week, but there is one that we're gearing up for. Mercury is going to go retrograde on August 23rd, which means this week it goes into its shadow period. And shadow periods can be relentless, man. They can be worse than the actual retrograde. Mercury is already slowing down, and so communications may be slowing down. Processing times of all different tech equipment and stuff may be slowing down. So just be aware of that. There is a new moon on the 16th of this week at about 5 something a.m. Central Time. That's in the United States over here. So it's about 6 New York time, and then about 3 California time. And figure it out. If you're, what is it, Mountain Time? I believe that's around 3, 4, 5, 6. It's kind of like that over. So it's happening early in the morning. So you may not get to see, well, you don't really get to see the new moon anyway. So no big deal. But it also means that you will start easily feeling the effects on August 15th. And on August 15th, the moon conjuncts Venus. So in a way, I know it's kind of weird, but since Venus is conjunct the sun all week long, it's within 4 to 5 degrees of it all week long. And this is a very optimistic, romantic, kind of flamboyantly beautiful, decadent, and super fabulous, optimistic energy. Since Venus is conjunct the sun, when the moon conjuncts Venus on the 15th, it's already conjunct the sun. It's already within that 4 to 5 degree orb of the sun. So that when it finally conjuncts the sun, the sun in full conjunction early morning on the 16th, it's almost like an extra elongated new moon. So we've got a lot of chance for beauty, romance, and optimism, welcoming in something absolutely beautiful, new, and original and unique, because this new moon is square to Uranus, which Venus conjunct the sun is square to Uranus all week long, and trine Chiron, which Venus square conjunct the sun is trine to Chiron all week long. So when this moon joins, there's this beautiful opening of ourselves and our sense of personal authority and personal expression, not wanting to be put into any boxes, not wanting to be confined, and definitely looking for something new and different based on being ready to heal from past experiences and difficult situations that we had to go through. That's that beautiful trine to Chiron. So this is a very healing, loving, and rewarding energy in some way. It just feels like there's so much room for beauty to come in on that day, especially those 2 days, the 15th to the 16th. Now, I did mention we have the sun conjunct Venus all week long, and all week long they are square to Uranus and trine to Chiron. This is reinventing the self, reestablishing the sense of your own beauty, your own unique beauty, and being attracted to things that are differently different than what you used to, like not wanting to be conformed, not wanting to conform to the same stuff that you've done that causes irritation, pain, frustration, or you being stuck. You're ready to make those changes. So it's a very rebellious, but also healing energy. But then we also have Mercury conjunct Mars, which in and of itself is quite progressive energy, especially in Virgo. That's like workable, right? You're gonna get stuff done, and it's gonna be precise, and it's gonna be motivated, and it's gonna be high energy, and it's all about taking action through communication, intellect, and information. But by the 14th, it's going to be in direct opposition to Neptune, which can really fuck with you and confuse things. And not only that, make you kind of cast your fists toward shadows, like toward shadow monsters, believing things are worse than they are. So these rebellions could also be in reaction to phantasms. This is an energy of interesting times that we could see major revolts or changes coming based on bullshit, based on things that people set us up for. They bamboozled us. Anything opposite Neptune is you're more prone to buy tonic water for medicine. It's like it's easier to bamboozle people under this energy, and with the already rebellious energy, I'm not loving the global aspects of the end of the week, just to let you know. Also think twice. When anything is in opposition to Neptune, think twice. And the problem with it being Mercury conjunct Mars opposite Neptune is you could be thinking deep and deep and deep and deep and deep and going too deep and driving yourself too crazy in distraction, chasing these phantoms and making decisions based on unclear information. Just an FYI. The sun is square to Jupiter through the 12th. This will motivate us to want to expand and grow through frustration with, once again, staying in the same place. That just falls right into this sort of rebellious energy of the square to Chiron. And then we have... No, that's it. That's what I want to discuss. So times they are a-changing, but there is a beautiful new moon coming. So welcome in that new opportunity and new chance, because it is coming. All right, let's go into Taurus specific information. I have this all written down. Now, how do I figure that out? I look at what's going on in the zodiac sign of Taurus and what's going on with your ruling dignitary. As a Cancerian, I know very well I need to keep track of the moon. I need to know where that bitch is, because she can drive me crazy, Blame it on the moon. Blame it on the moon. But we should all be aware of where our ruling dignitary is, because they kind of, salt bay our lives. They kind of like season and kick up the flavor a little bit of everything that we're doing. So we're going to look at Venus and we're going to look at Taurus. So what's going on in Taurus? Jupiter is in Taurus and Uranus is in Taurus, and they're staying there for a while, okay? So Jupiter is at 14 degrees Taurus, not going to move out of that position. Jupiter actually goes retrograde on September 3rd, I believe. So it's actually slowing down a little bit. I noticed that it's not really moving a degree every day. So we're starting to see that slow down as well. And then Uranus is going to be, I think by October, it's going to be in retrograde. So Uranus is, this week is moving between 22 and 23 degrees Taurus. What does that mean? That means Taurus 2s, your natal suns, are still fortunately conjunct to Jupiter, though it can have its trials. And then Taurus 3s, your natal suns are conjunct Uranus. And we'll get into what that means and who you guys are if you don't know where your natal sun position is. You don't need to. I will get to it, I promise. Venus. Venus is in retrograde. And Venus is in Leo. And it's going to retrograde from 22 degrees Leo to 18 degrees Leo. It is absolutely participating in this new moon because it is conjunct to the new moon. The new moon happens at 23 degrees Leo. And Venus is about 18 degrees at that point, so it's still within 5 degrees. The sun, Venus is conjunct the sun within 4 to 5 degrees all week long. She is square to Uranus and trine to Chiron, so she is definitely feeling her oats, shaking things up, making changes, and being mischievous. But with that conjunction to the sun, she is super powered, flamboyant, and really, really kind of sexy, indulgent, and positive this week. So that could color your week very nicely, to be honest. Let's get into the decans. A decan is a set of 10 degrees. And each zodiac sign has 3 of them because each zodiac sign is a total of 30 degrees on the wheel, which is a circle, which is a total of 360 degrees. And there's 12 zodiac signs, so each of them occupies 30 degrees on that 360 degree zodiac wheel. So every zodiac sign has 3 decans. We have Taurus ones. This means your sun is in the first decan of Taurus. If you know that your natal sun is between 0 and 9 degrees Taurus, you are a Taurus one. It is in the first decan of Taurus. In terms of birthdays, this is basically April Tauruses. So like April 22nd through the 31st, maybe up through May 1st, is Taurus 1. FYI, definitely Aries cuspers, which would be the 22nd and the 23rd of April. If you are at the cusp, the tip-top cusp, just the tip. Oh, stop. Okay. You had enough of me. I know. April 22nd and 23rd, your natal suns are conjunct to the North Node, opposite the South Node, and square to Pluto. You're still there. You're still feeling it, and you're going to feel it for another week or so, really, because it's going to take the North Node time to, at the end of this week, the North Node will slip into 26 degrees and then eventually go to 25 degrees. And by 24 degrees, Aries, you guys are not going to feel it anymore. But you guys are still conjunct that North Node opposite the South Node and square to Pluto. That square to Pluto will last for a while. What does this mean? It means your life is changing. It means your personality and your attitude is shifting toward the opposite of what you used to be. Right? There's like you're turning a corner or turning the last page on a chapter, opening up a new one in your life. And this is a natural progression of life. And yes, you should welcome that in, because when Pluto is involved, you don't have a choice anyway. When Pluto is square to your natal sun, it also gives you a very formidable gravity to your personality, which can very much intimidate the crap out of people, just an FYI. And that's sticking with you for another couple years. You also have a long-term sextile to Saturn, which means get to work, man. Like, this is a great time for opportunities to open up for you this year, because it's going to last a year, the sextile to Saturn, to work on your career. Opportunities to grow, expand, develop, have people take you seriously, and really take charge and leadership of things. Beautiful, beautiful energy for that Taurus ones. Let's get into Taurus twos. Taurus 2s, if you know your natal sun is between 10 and 19 degrees Taurus, you are Taurus 2s. This correlates to Taurus birthdays between, say, May 1st to May 10th or 11th. That would be you guys. Your natal suns are conjunct to Jupiter. And I said that's kind of a mixed bag, because it gives you this sense of optimism, but it's almost big-headed optimism. This sense of, oh, I took my first piano lesson, now I'm a maestro. You know, this sense of, oh, I'm going to go try a dance class and I expect to get it right away. You could, kind of rush yourself or rush your level of deserving of achievement when Jupiter is conjunct your sun, and that can actually become very frustrating energy. So it's good if you use it as motivation, but don't let it slip into entitlement. Just an FYI, since you are going to be dealing with this for a while. Then we have trine to Mercury. So this week, this is actually very good. There's this beautiful sense of communication and eloquence in speech. There's this beautiful sense of your mind being able to easily communicate through your mouth. This is a beautiful sense of, yes, great time to sign important paperwork. I know Mercury is in its shadow period, but things will be very clear to you. So it's definitely a good time to review information, get information, and share information. Just an FYI. And then we have a square to Venus by the 14th. Square to Venus can be quite frustrating and quite draining when it comes to low self-esteem and questioning your sense of self-worth. So watch out for that starting the end of this week. There could also be some conflicts, usually because of how you feel about yourself when it comes to your intimate partnerships. And then there also could be some conflicts with finances, since Venus rules all kinds of value and desirables. There could also be a sense of overindulging, FYI. And then we have a square to the sun through the 12th. So through the 12th, your natal suns will also be square to the sun. That's conjunct Venus. This is if you are feeling low, a little bit low on energy and self-esteem and self-confidence, if you're starting to feel like you don't like the skin that you're in, this isn't like depression, but it's self-consciousness. That's kind of what it is. Not a good time to go and change your hair or change the aesthetics of your house or anything like that. It's not a great time to make big purchases, expensive purchases. Though sometimes you will try to overcompensate for the shitty feelings with retail therapy or overindulgence in wine and food. So just watch that mentality this week, because you could kind of be sucked in. FYI, self-care, not self-soothing. So self-care is eating right. Feeding yourself the good stuff, picking up a great smoothie, going and getting a massage, to help drain those lymph nodes or to help ease out those kinks in the back, exercising your body. So it's self-care, meditation, maybe a little extra rest too, not self-soothing, which would be overindulging and escapism. Just an FYI. And then we have Taurus 3s. In Taurus 3s, if your natal sun is between 20 and 29 degrees Taurus, you are Taurus 3s. This correlates to birthdays in May between, say, May 11th through the 21st or May 12th through the 22nd, depending on when the season begins. Your natal suns are conjunct to Uranus, which means you're a strange bird. And that's what it is. It's getting into this, it's a tremendous sense of independence. And so even if in your life you were never that independent, now you are. Because it's just when Uranus is conjunct your sun, you need to be individualistic. You need to not be predictable. You need to be unique, and you need to surprise everybody. You're also attracted to unique things, interesting things, outside of the box energy. And that's long term. Then we have a square to the new moon on the 16th. What does that mean? There could be challenges accepting what wants to come into you, and by letting go of what you need to clear in order to clear space for the new. This could be a little bit of extra emotion here, or a challenge getting over the ego enough to allow the new and trust the new instead of trying to dictate it yourself. We also have a square to the sun through the 13th, and by the 14th they're going to be square to Venus. They're conjunct, so it's almost reverse, but you guys are going to be feeling the same. You could be feeling the same kind of compromised sense of self-esteem, compromised sense of self-worth, tendency toward overindulgence. And once again, I would recommend for you guys as well, self-care, yes, 100%. This is the week for it. Not self-soothing. Warning, stay away from it. You have a long-term trine to Pluto, which means change is happening. It's kind of like you're in a cocoon and you're coming out. This is a time where you bring the change, and people are more apt to listen to you and follow you. And then we have this week a square to Mars as well, which means you're prepared to take action. Your actions and your movements are more fluid and graceful. You have a higher energy this week. And then a sextile to Neptune is long term, but oh my God, is it brilliant. So working within creative fields, or working with your creativity, or working with your psychic abilities and spiritual energies is going to be something that you are drawn to for the next couple of years, especially with that trine to Pluto. You guys are conjunct Uranus, trine to Pluto, and sextile to Neptune. You're almost at ground zero for what's being interacted upon to make change and bring this world into the next stage of evolution, especially through technology. So, hey, you let me know in the comments below. I would love to know. Taurus, please come along to Born Without Boundaries Tarot for your week ahead tarot card reading. And then remember to like this video and subscribe here, since there's a new astrology. Every week is new, right? The cosmos is always changing. So I hope you come back and check in with me. I'll be looking forward to seeing you. Bye, guys.